What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sinister Bunny Studios, your go-to channel for heavy metal content. And today we're going to be looking at the latest and greatest plugin from the folks over at Neural DSP, the Archetype Gojira. And if you don't know who Gojira is, they are a very brutal and savage heavy metal band with some sick, brutal riffs. Like, if you're a guitar player and you're into like the whole heavy metal, heavy guitar scene, you need to listen to some Gojira because they got really brutal, like brain melting guitar riffs and like super ambient sounds. Like, they're just, if you like the whole ambient and heavy sound kind of mix that a lot of modern music does now, Gojira does that, and they've been doing it for a while. They're really, really good. But this is another like chock full of features plugin that Neural DSP has released. The one that I remember that had the most in it was like the Archetype Nolly, and that's like the first plugin I got from them. And it's just so full of features and effects and crazy stuff. And I believe this is another one of those bigger plugins. But without further ado, let's just kind of hop in and take a look at it. So right now you see this whole thing right here. This is your interface that pops up when you first open the plugin. And it's got the usual Neural DSP interface. And we'll just kind of give it an overview here for a second, and then we'll get to some sounds. So this is the default layout that pops up as soon as you open it. And it's got the typical Neural DSP layout. And we'll just kind of start from left and go to the right and kind of take a look at everything that's in this. So if you go to the far left, there's like this effects section with a wah pedal effect, which you can also plug in a MIDI controlled like foot pedal to control the wah if you really wanted to. So that's a really cool feature. Plus you have that effect whenever you want to use it. And you also have an octave pedal here, so you can do like octave above and below and whatnot. And those are really useful for thickening up really heavy lines, especially in heavy metal music. And so that's really cool to have. And it's just a cool thing to have to do crazy effects and whatnot. You move over to the next tab, you've got like your actual guitar pedals. Starting from the left, you have an overdrive, which is always useful in heavy metal, especially with high gain. You have a dirt pedal, which is like a fuzz or distortion. You have a phaser and a chorus, which all come in handy. I am more prone to use an overdrive and something like a dirt pedal more than like a phaser and chorus, but those do come in handy, and they do add a lot of texture to your sounds, and especially with the whole atmospheric side of this whole plugin and what Gojira does. And if you're into that, phasers and chorus effects do a lot of great things for you. Moving to the next section, you have the amp and cabinet section, and just like the Archetype Nolly, this comes with 3 amps and 3 cabinets built in. And so the far right one, that's the default, I think, is like the heavy amp. It's like the high gain, the highest like chug amp. You go to the middle, you have like your crunch or kind of mid gain amp, and then you go to the left, and this is like your clean. And like most Neural DSP plugins with these different cabinets and amps, you can unlink them and have whatever combination of amp and cabinet that you want, or you can just link them up. That way they're always matched with whatever the matching cab is for the amps that they're simulating. Next over, you have like a 9-band EQ for each of the amps and whatnot, and that always comes in handy, especially when you're mixing. You can throw this up on your whole guitar sound instead of adding an extra EQ plugin after the fact. Save yourself some room and some processing power and get it all done within this plugin. So that always comes in handy. Next over, you have like the cabinet simulator section where you can move the microphones around as if you were actually miking the cabinet in real life. You also have a bunch of different microphones to pick from: dynamic, condenser, ribbon. And you can also load custom IRs, which is always useful. I definitely have a handful of IRs that I use that I've purchased and downloaded and whatnot. And they do come in handy, especially with trying to make your own sound. And you have all the same controls as usual. You can change the position of the mics, phase, flip, turn them on and off, the level, panning them left and right, whatnot. And this is just a really cool section. Moving to the last section, you have the effects at the tail end of the amp, and you have a delay and a reverb. And so in terms of coming up with those atmospheric sounds and whatnot, those are definitely a staple for that type of sound. So these come in handy all the time for atmospheric sounds and whatnot. And that's pretty much the gist of it. And other than that, you have your settings, your MIDI controls. It's got a tuner and a metronome, which I'm guessing helps with like the delay effects, so you can set it to the tempo of your song and whatnot in your DAW, and just make things all nice and sounding really, really amazing. But enough talk. We've kind of looked over this a bit. Let's kind of mess with some sounds. I've only messed with this a couple times. I've had to restart this video a handful of times because I had some audio issues. The software that comes to my PreSonus interface had an update, and it screwed a bunch of stuff up in all my default settings, so I had to redo all that. And fingers crossed we're back on track now, so everything should be good. But here's the default sound that is there as soon as you open this plugin. So that's a pretty chunky sound already. That's just the default. And I'm using my Sterling John Petrucci 7-string here, so I forgot to mention that earlier, but it just sounds really good right off the bat. And that's like the high gain amp right there. We can move over to the middle and get more to the crunchy. Yeah, you can just hear it's a good crunch tone right off the bat, and it's still in the default position. I got lost a little bit there playing around, but I guarantee that's going to happen a lot with this plugin. But moving over to the clean here, this is kind of what we got with the default sound. So it's got this kind of breakup to it still. So what you can probably do is dial back the gain a bit and bring up the level if you want it a bit more clean. See, and it's still even got a bit of breakup. So what I would do is dial the gain down even more. Bring the level up just a tad bit more. There you go. And even then, it's still got some breakup. So it's really responsive to how you play. It's really dynamic. really responsive. So if you want to do your own thing with it and have some breakup, it's definitely really good for that. And it's really dynamic, so you can play it super quiet, really quiet, or you can start digging in and get that grit. So it's there if you really want it. And like I said, it's really responsive, which is a really nice thing to have. But now I'm going to go back over to the main here. The main whole attraction of this thing for the most part is the heaviness. And I want to kind of mess around with some of these effects. And I want to turn on the octave pedal. So that's really cool. I always like a cool octave pedal. Assuming this is the octave below, maybe? You're just adjusting the level? Yeah, you're adjusting the level of the lower octave, and then there's a higher octave, I'm assuming. So that's always fun, especially if you have like a single string running line of like a or even I mean, it tracks really well. That's a really amazing. like I said, I can get very lost in this. It's just really fun to mess around with it. I mean, like... It's just a really fun effect, and it's really good for fattening things up. I mean, we can mess with this wah a little bit, but I don't have the expression pedal, but we'll kind of see. So you can drag the mouse on it. So you can drag it and like I think this Fatso mode, it seems like it adds an octave below to an octave above. So like way down is an octave below, and all the way at the top it's it's an octave above, I believe. Let's see, what's blade 1? So that's blade 1 all the way down is just your regular sound, and then all the way up is either 1 or 2 octaves above. I can't tell. What's blade 2? Let's check that. That is regular again, so just normal guitar, and then all the way up. That's 2 octaves up. That can hurt your ears. Apologies if it did. So if you want to add some like theremin weird, I don't know, alien-like sounds, you can definitely do that. So blade 2 is normal at bottom to 2 octaves at the top. Blade 1 is regular at the bottom to 1 octave at the top. And Fatso is an octave below at the bottom. And then at the top, it's an octave above. Yeah. So Fatso, below, above, blade 1, above, blade 2, 2 above. Simple as that. And then if you want to do the octave pedal with some of the wah, I mean, the possibilities there are pretty endless. But now let's move over to the actual guitar pedals. And right now I've got it on the default setting with like the high gain amp. We'll mess with the overdrive here first, just to fatten things up. And I keep the distortion low, turn the level all the way up. The tone, just like a simple overdrive tone, and we'll kind of A-B it. So that's before, after. Just adds a little bit of overdrive to your tone. I mean, you can turn the distortion up. You want that. So that overdrive works. It's just, I like the sound of it. It works really well. I mean, it's an overdrive. Overdrive does exactly what you think it does. And then let's move over to this dirt / distortion. I think it just, I mean, it adds some distortion and dirt. And honestly, if we want to get a cleaner effect, let's just switch over to the clean and add the dirt. So just add some filth to it, you know? He's a crunch. You just add some kind of dirtiness. Just add some griminess to it, you know? Gives you a little more tonal options. And then we'll get the phaser here, which I normally would use on a clean sound. So let's get like a typical chord thing here, but let's just... So that's always fun. Change the rate of it, I guess, and so yeah, you got a phaser. That's always fun to have, and I mean, do it on like a crunchy tone. I'm gonna get this like. So that's always fun. A phaser can always add some interesting effect to stuff, even if it's not your main thing. You know, you could do some silly stuff and crank the phaser all the way up like I did earlier and just do some... Just don't get lost in the warble and get out of time like I am. So that's always fun. And then, of course, you've got the chorus pedal. I'll switch over to the higher gain. Big person I know that uses some chorus to make their whole sound bigger during times of necessity. Good old John Petrucci. He'll throw on some chorus to a lot of the stuff, whether it be a clean section with the... or the heavier section. Just adds a cool effect, kind of adds some depth and some size to your guitar parts and whatnot. But yeah, we've heard a bit of the amps, and we don't really need to go over the EQ. We don't really need to mess with the IRs and microphones, I guess. I mean, if you really want, I can show you a little bit. You can grab the mic and move it around. Grab the other mic. Yeah, I mean, you can mess around with stuff. You can pick different mics, pick two. I mean, why not? But you can do it if you really want. But this is the default setting again. I think it works. And then we got, obviously, the delay and the reverb. And for that, I would like a clean sound. Let's engage the delay. Got a ping pong going on, okay. So delay is always cool. I always prefer delay over reverb, but if you really want the reverb, you got it. Give you some room sound. So that's always fun, having a bit of room. give you some sound, and then you compare the two, delay and room. You can make some very ambient music. Do some crazy stuff, and create that atmospheric sound that we all love to do and get lost in. It's always fun. So yeah, it's really cool having those effects, especially the delay and the reverb at the tail end of everything, just to seal everything together and create those atmospheric environments that we all try to lose ourselves into every once in a while. It's just a really good plugin. I don't know what else I can say. I want to maybe try to dial in something, but I don't know. There's so many options. You know what? Actually, what I'll do is I'll go through a couple presets and see what we got. So let's hear Aggressive Waters just to get an idea of some of them. I like that one. Clean Waters. Oh, that's pretty. To be honest, this sound reminds me of like Devin Townsend, of all things. Need to reposition myself. Hard to play some bigger chords on this fatter neck, sitting the other way. Ugh, that's got to be one of my favorites right there. Clean Waters. That is a great atmospheric clean sound. I love that. That is so perfect. None of those other ones really sound good to me. Let's look at some of the Gojira presets. The rhythm stuff is pretty straightforward. It's like a storyteller. What's that sound like? Whoa. Ha, there's that phaser thing. On the extreme end, like I said. Almost sounds like an organ. Doesn't take the 7th string very well. But I think it's adding an octave lower, so it's kind of messing with it. But still. That literally sounds like an organ. If I ever want to put some kind of organ sound in a song, this is going to be it. Oh, that is, I love that. That is, like, those are the weird sounds that you can get with this plugin, man. I mean, let's see, what's weird? I don't really think that's weird. It's just kind of a distant sound. Rex. I just wonder if maybe these are some presets made after some of their songs. Because I know Silver is a song. It's about the only one I recognize. I don't know all their discography off the top of my head, but that seems like one of them. But regardless, I mean, there's so many different sounds that you can make with this thing, and right off the bat, even if you're just looking to start off with a chunky tone, the default is perfect. I mean, albeit my playing's not so great at 2:30 in the morning, but I mean, it's such a good plugin, and I mean, I know it's pricey and everything, but I think it is so well worth the money. Just like the Archetype Nolly. Maybe this one knocks the Archetype Nolly out of place. I didn't say that. You didn't hear that from me. But it's got a lot of the same effects and more. And it's obviously newer. And so, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think there's really anything that I'm missing in this. I just decided to kind of walk through this with you guys. I will probably make a Will It Metal episode with this with this plugin, and write a song using it. And so I'll be looking out for that fairly soon. I just wanted to get this out and published for you guys so that you can check it out, because it literally just came out when you get this 2 days ago. It came out on the 15th. And I just had to get my hands on it. And obviously I was having some technical issues. Otherwise I would have had this done the day before this gets uploaded. That's why I'm recording this at 2-3 in the morning. But it is what it is. It's an amazing plugin. I can't wait to get writing with whatever the hell song I come up with some of these quirky sounds, and these heavy, brutal tones. I think it's a really, really good plugin, especially for modern metal stuff, if that's what you're looking for. It's not exactly djenty. I'm sure you can make it djent, but it's just for that chunky, atmospheric, like heavy, just brutal type of metal. This is perfect for it. If you like Gojira, you gotta get this. And that's it for now. I know this is a fairly long video, but I hope that this unboxing, demo, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, gives you some more information, and helps you decide if you're going to get this or not, which you just get it. I know money's tight and all for everybody with what's going on, but if you're looking to record some really heavy music and you're looking for the all-in-one plugin, this is probably it right here. It gets a stamp of approval for me, and I'm going to be writing a song with it, so I'll be looking out for that soon, probably later this week. I'll release it and add it to the plethora of other Will It Metal songs and originals that I've come out with, and there's some cool stuff coming with that soon. Either way, this is the Gojira plugin from NeuroDSP, Archetype Gojira, Archetype, holy fuck. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I always say, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you in the next video. Hopefully not recording at 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm tired, and yeah, goodbye. Buy this plugin. But yeah, see you later.